pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody sign the warrants, or you will before we...
I just did.
So they're all good. Anybody know any errors or omissions of the town of Newry Selectmen meeting minutes for January 17th, 2023? There was something I thought I saw.
Don't remember that I saw anything.
I don't remember seeing any, so.
Well, I guess it was when we recessed, from the select board meeting and went into
Executive.
executive session. We didn't adjourn, we went into recess.
Right, made a motion to enter an executive session.
No, but right before that, it says Selectman Mary made a motion to adjourn the meeting. So it
Oh.
should say to recess.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. Cause then later it says.
Then we had
Yeah.
to
to
reconvene.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only thing
I must have stopped reading at the bottom of the page. Good catch.
Make a motion we accept them with the changes that was needed to be made.
I will second that motion.
And we did second that we accept the selectmen meeting minutes as corrected. All those in favor?
In favor.
In favor.
In favor.
It's on the first page, if you wanna sign that up, make the change.
If you wanna just go to the roads and paving,
I'm gonna.
Let me get that now.
Announcement here,
Yeah.
I may have to leave the meeting early because I've got another meeting in Medcare at 6:30, so it's about a 20-minute ride to get there, so I might have to sneak out early. I'm good, but I'm not good enough to be in two places at once.
you gotta learn to drive like some of the other people we know in this room.
I don't have the funny license plates.
Is there any adjustments to the agenda? Just, with Temple no Zoom, he's gonna be here.
Right, and I couldn't get on Zoom
We'll
anyway.
just probably put him in when
When
he
he
shows up.
up, yes, cause he's got all the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then we can do Joel's roads and paving stuff.
Any announcement?
No.
I'm assuming that we, give a card to, there's Jim right now.
There he is.
Lori.
We did, yes, we did, yep.
Come on in.
Amazing how much time you can make up when you put your mind to it.
Maybe a foot to it.
I think that means
You
he
won't
was
say too
cheating.
much about that, though, thank you.
Well, couldn't been too bad, or you didn't meet any of those funny blue cars. 'Cause
No.
You'd still be
There
talking.
was this logging truck in front of me I was a little concerned about, but other than that, we were okay.
Well, those are hit or miss. They're either going really fast or really slow.
Well, as long as nothing comes off of them, I'm
Right.
okay. So I apologize for being a little late.
Oh, that's fine, we just going through
This is
some
it.
things.
Formalities.
My day is
This is
just.
for broadband, Jamie.
Super jazzed about broadband.
I think so.
I'll be there.
I think we did.
Yeah.
I think I left mine on my desk. My life story. I was trying to get organized.
So, did he not get, did this second lawyer not get this proposal that we made?
I don't know. Jim, did you send the proposal that you made to,
The Skelton Tanger
Yeah.
advocate, Ted Small is the attorney for Mr. Durgan. And he did know about the settlement
Okay.
agreement. But, as, I don't know if you've got, the attorney's letter.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
But his
reading.
statement is that, it appears that much, if not all, of the personal property the town claims is subject to taxation. It's been employed in Bethel, where he operates and occupies business facilities, been taxed in Bethel for many years. Any equipment has been employed in taxed in Bethel, has not operated any equipment in Newry since 1990, and then finally Newry has been unable to produce any documentation to verify because these records were lost or destroyed. I've made a few calls this morning, took a look at what's on Bethel's website, and Bethel has its commitment book for personal property for 2020, 2021, and 2022 on its website. There's only one personal property taxpayer in Bethel for those 3 years. That's Hancock Lumber.
Yeah. They had to be over $1 million before anybody paid any, I think.
Right, apparently there was the Board of Assessors decided that in 2004, that unless the assessed value was over $1 million, they weren't going to go out and collect property taxes.
So, but obviously this was, but if this says he paid property taxes in the town of Bethel.
He did, he owned property there.
he may have paid property taxes. Personal property is separate, which we're talking about
Right.
personal property, right. I can't get anything from Bethel saying that they charged him personal property.
But this states right here, Mr. Durgan has been taxed on this equipment in Bethel for many years. So either he was
Or he was-
or he wasn't.
Right,
I mean, but that's not up for us to decide, that's up for him to prove, right?
right. The burden of proof is with the taxpayer when they're seeking an abatement of taxes. In this case, though, we are trying to collect, and that's where this comes down. And so a good question would be, what was the town of Newry taxing for? What was the equipment that he was being taxed for? And some of that is difficult to find out at this point. This account goes back to 2011. We can only go back 6 years in collecting. There's a statute of limitations on that.
Right.
So we're going for 2017 forward. So out of approximately $55,000, we're talking about collecting, $50,000, excuse me, we're talking about collecting $24,689.95. Mr. Durgan no longer owns any real property in the town of Bethel. He owns quite a few properties in Newry. He lists his business address, or at least his business address is listed on the internet in at least 3 places as being on Bear River Road here in Newry. So if that's where his business is, usually you tax personal property where the taxpayer is, where the residence is. It's personal property, so you tax in the place of residence. But for a business, if you're selling, for example, if you're in the business of selling equipment, you put it where the office is and where the inventory would be. So maybe, you might live in Newry, but you're selling equipment in Bethel. If you have a contracting business and it's in Bethel, and that's where your office is, then you can claim that's where the equipment's kept, then you get taxed in Bethel. Those are exceptions to the general rule that's provided for by state law. No one said that Mr. Durgan has an office for Bear River excavating or construction.
He stated that he had an office in Bethel,
Yeah,
or
he
West
had-
Bethel, or,
What he had was a couple of gravel pits in the Bethel, one end of the other, both ends of Bethel, as a matter of fact. And he did have an office supposedly
On High Street,
on High Street.
and I think he might have had one on Mechanic Street, but to be honest with you, I think the mail still came to Newry for those 2 buildings, but I can't prove that by any means. But
And then the question is, did he have personal property there, and is that the personal property that Newry was billing him for?
That's what he's saying, cause he was paying it up until 2006, and then he said he moved the stuff to, from what I gather, to the pits in Bethel. So that's, I think is why he stopped paying taxes, is because his stuff was in Bethel. But
Sure. And Bethel wouldn't tax it if it were under the $1 million,
Right.
and the assessed value that's carried under, the account for Newry is $326,000, which is under the $1 million. This is a fun one and a difficult one. It shows the
Yeah.
problem with personal property
Yes.
taxes. Because, with real property, with land, with buildings, you don't pay your tax bill, there's an automatic lien. There's a
Right.
lien process, automatic foreclosure, we know how to deal with that. And the debt follows the land. In other words, if I sell the property, it's still subject to the lien. The debt keeps
Yeah.
attached to that. With personal property, it is just that, it's personal. If the town wanted to lien personal property, it's a pain, you have to list it on a UCC, Uniform Commercial Code 1 listing, you have to file it in Augusta. And so that way somebody's looking to buy property, will look and say, oh, so-and-so has a lien on this property, I have to discharge before I can buy it. But it's really difficult. Well, it's an added step, and a lot of people don't do it unless the property is worth enough to make it worthwhile, or there's enough property, like a mill, where you want to make sure you preserve your rights. So personal property tax is difficult to administer. The other option is you sue on it. We just like to collect what's appropriate. Nobody wants to double tax.
The other thing is he's claiming that, which he's probably right, that equipment is depreciated
Mhm.
over the years.
But I'm under the understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not 100% sure, obviously I've never done this, but it's up to the taxpayer to prove all that, correct?
When someone comes in and says that I want to appeal my taxes, I'm seeking an
Right.
abatement, then the burden's on the taxpayer. What's flipped here is that the taxpayer's not claiming an abatement, the taxpayer's just saying, hey, you billed me and you wanna collect from me, I never owed it. It's a little bit different, and so if we were gonna go into court and sue, we would have to help bolster that case a little bit. And show, well, these are the elements of property that we assessed him for, that were in Newry, and that those records are a little bit difficult to get.
Yes.
I don't think we can resolve this tonight, so I think there's some outstanding issues of, did this guy ever pay tax in Bethel, what equipment is it, and where is it? But I think that the town started on a right path, and that is, Loretta gave him a list. Normally, what you do is you send out to all your property taxpayers, especially property taxpayers, personal property, what's called a Section 706 list, request. Tell me all the property you own as of April 1, and its location and its value. So you have something to start from. It's a list that the taxpayer provides by April 1, saying, yeah, I own, 3 snow blowers and 2 pickup trucks and,
Well, pickup should be registered, so.
well, okay, but
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But I own these vehicles, these construction vehicles, these pieces of equipment, and I think their value as of this date is X, Y, Z. Then you have a list you can check, and when you're putting together the personal property tax bill, you can say, well, this is what I'm claiming, and if there's a dispute, people can talk about it. Without a list, nobody knows.
No, that's
And
been our
so,
problem.
Loretta has asked him to provide a list. Let's start there, because if he can provide a list, my suggestion is, the town has an assessor's agent. And Rob can take a look at this and see, what's the value of this, and maybe it has depreciated. Maybe it depreciated a long time ago. Maybe it's not even here. Rob can look at the value, you can look at whether this is in town, we'll at least have a list. And maybe there's some relief that can be granted that way. Maybe this bill gets knocked down as a result. Maybe his bill going forward is reduced. Maybe it's 0. But we don't know what we don't know at this point. And rather than everybody getting upset about it, how about if we have him bring the list in, we run it by Rob, we see also, is this stuff really in Newry or Bethel? Find out also what happened in Bethel. But
Yeah.
let's have Rob take a look at the values.
I'm
And
pretty sure we did ask him for a list.
We've asked him many
Multiple
times.
times.
And my other thing, if I can just say,
Please.
is that, the abatement deadline for 2023 is next Friday, the 17th, which I have advised him of several times, that he can abate the 23, or we're gonna be in the same situation for 23, because
Right.
that assessed value is gonna continue.
Right,
And he's got
I understand.
limited amount of time to do this. He's very upset, thinks the town, sets
everybody
these
does,
guidelines and dates in their state.
No,
their
this
state.
is state law.
Right, and so I'm trying to explain that, Mr. Durgan, this is a state deadline, and if you want some reprieve of 2023, we need this list, please.
He's trying to jam 3 or 4 different things together,
Mhm.
and it needs to be separated so we can do our job.
Right.
And that's a problem, he doesn't wanna separate it.
Right. You know, this board has authority to, either on application or within 3 years on its own, abate taxes. As a municipal officer, you can go back 3 years. The assessor can go back 1 year. And so, but we need numbers. And so that's why my suggestion, my advice is, let's have Rob take a look at the numbers. Let's get the list. He's got to cooperate if he wants some help.
We've asked for the list
Right.
numerous times.
See, that's part of the problem is he asks, what are we basing
He
our
doesn't,
figures on?
yeah,
Right. Which
Because
would,
obviously, if he would like us to show where we come up with these figures.
Right.
And so far, I guess he hasn't received anything. So, but if you haven't got it, then how can you really,
well, I understand, and the basis is the number that's on the assessment card, which came from something, somewhere along the line, and something that we're not required to keep forever. If we kept all municipal records forever, we'd be building a couple of new town halls or something.
yeah.
Right.
There is a directory that the State Archives Board puts together. It says how long you have to keep municipal records, and some things you do keep forever. And some things you keep for a year, and some things you keep for 6 years during the statute of limitations.
but if you got rid of some of them, wouldn't it, at least you would have a record of the last year that it was there? Or would it just all be wiped out?
Well, it depends how you keep your records. You know, we have tax cards probably for buildings that have a picture of or a drawing of the house and where it sits on the lot, and all the information about prior sales picked up since the last time there was an assessment card. But you don't usually have that for personal property.
Right.
And so what you have in personal property, somebody put a list together, put a number together, and it went on this valuation.
But you probably wouldn't keep it forever, because you're not gonna go through and check and make sure there's not a new one, right? You're just like, okay, this has reached the amount,
Technically,
Retention,
right?
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know, I'm asking,
well, if you were you had 6 skidders and 5 backhoes this year, on April 1st, you gave me that. Next year, you got rid of the 6 skidders and you just kept your 5 backhoes. You would have to come in and tell us, that I got rid of these, I'm only.
Well, let's say I had my things for however many years you have to keep it?
6.
6. So on the 7th year, nothing's changed. You just get rid of that document, right? You don't check to see if there's
Yeah,
another
well,
one.
sometimes it gets boxed up, put in the basement for years, but,
Well, I guess the other
Yeah.
part of it is that the law assumes
Yeah.
that every year you're going to send out this request to file a list to
Right.
everybody who you're going to bill for property tax. I assume the
And
town
we
does.
do, but
Well,
it
do
doesn't mean we get
Well,
one
okay,
back.
and if you don't
too.
get it back,
Yeah.
then
Then you
shame on
just
the
go off the-
taxpayer.
Yes.
Well, that's absolutely
Well,
the
you know-
situation that we're
And
in.
I
Welcome
explained
to the
that,
problem.
well, I told the previous town administrator, I said, you may have, but at this point, what you told somebody doesn't matter, cause it needs to be in writing, and you need to depreciate that and give us a new list each time, that would have been what.
Right,
Should
if you
have.
don't get the information back, because the person may have sold 2 of the
Right.
backhoes, and we would not know.
Right.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so
It's
tell
their-
us.
It's their
That
responsibility.
this is, the law says you will file a true and perfect list of what you have as of April 1. So if you're sending the notices and they're not sending it back, there's not much more you can do about it. But we do have a problem right now.
right,
And he disputes the bill. We don't have the backup for it, and it's not illegal or immoral or fattening why we don't have it. We just don't have it because it's an old record that wasn't required to be kept. What we can ask to try to get things back on the straight and narrow is for him to do what we've been asking for each year. File this. We'll take a look at the property. We'll ask Rob, the assessor's agent, to look at the value. We'll try to, apply that, maybe we can try to apply that backwards and see over the last 3 years, is there any relief that this gentleman can be given? And maybe there's a reduction in that bill from, the approximately $25,000 down to something else, pay it, and we're done and move forward.
Can we ask him through his attorney to provide that? Because obviously we've asked him in person, and the office has asked him in person.
And Amy sent him the you handed him the
I have handed it to him, I have sent it to him, I have,
And the abatement deadline again, I'm sorry?
it's the 17th, next Friday.
Okay, all right.
That's gonna be the way it's gonna have to go, because if you ask him for something, that's why he's going to the lawyer.
Tomorrow morning, I will be contacting his attorney,
So, I mean,
okay?
We're not trying to be a bunch of jerks here and be
Nobody
like, pay
is.
this money, but, for us to work with him, he needs to work with us.
Other people are billed property taxes in this town and they pay them.
Right,
And
exactly.
if they have a problem,
They come,
they
yeah.
come to you, but they
Yeah.
also, I assume others file their lists?
Yes,
Yes.
they have accountants that do it, they automatically come to us, I have explained that there
Okay,
are
so
several companies that it automatically comes, we don't
This-
have to request it, it's not
this
a
isn't normal.
surprise.
No.
this is
In
not.
fact, we
something-
had one this year that he said, hey, I don't have that anymore, and I
Yeah.
said, put it in writing
Yeah.
and we'll
Yes,
Take care of it.
I want
And we
that
did.
in writing, I'll stamp it, give it to the
Assessor
assessor,
and
deal with
take
it,
great care of it.
yes.
All right, I think we have our answer as
So-
far as what the response is. Does that make sense to all?
Yeah.
now, is there a list of what is personal property tax? What we can charge it?
We've got the account here for what we've charged and for how
No,
long.
no, I mean, like, you was talking before about snow blowers and lawnmowers, is that technically, could that be,
So
If
it's
it's
like,
business
If it's
like
equipment,
computers and things like that,
If it's
you know?
it's business equipment,
Right.
so, you don't get down to the level of a dustpan and brush or something, foolish. But if it has some significant value, $1,000 or $5,000, I don't know, what's the cutoff?
I'm not sure, we'd have to ask Rob what the
Yeah.
cutoff
Yeah,
is.
but
Yeah.
reasonable,
Right,
of a reasonable value to worry about.
it's not a
for
regular
business.
homeowner, it's just if you're using that for a business.
right,
That's my,
So everybody's not gonna be treated the same.
no,
No,
I'm not gonna be,
just asking
no, that's
questions.
right.
no,
But he, when he was here, for example, he said the big screens TVs, people have them in the house, how come that not being taxed on? Because that's not the same thing.
right, that's not personal property
Right.
use.
So
Yeah.
is personal property used for a profit, like you're using it to make money?
Generally, it's going to be business equipment, generally, or something large scale,
So like I have a tractor,
right?
let's pretend,
Mm-hmm.
but I just use it to dump around my house. I'm not going
I don't think
to
you're going to get
Gary's,
dinged.
I'm not gonna get, but if I was all of a sudden like, hey, hire me to do your tractor work.
Or, I'm going to have a little farm stand here on my property.
Right.
Sounds like a business, and you're probably going to get a personal property tax bill for that tractor used in your business.
Okay.
Just the same thing, like, I might have a snow blower at my house, clear my driveway. I don't think I'm gonna get taxed on my $1,000 errands, that was.
Well, if you
that
go
was-
do your neighbors.
Appreciate
But that's-
it.
But if you start using it
That's
as a
right, if I
business,
start using that,
So I'm gonna quit plowing driveways.
or
Well,
you're
because you
gonna
licensed
tax
your truck though.
Yeah,
Oh,
but you
right.
license your
So
truck.
that's different.
So,
Yes.
yeah, back in the day here, we used to have personal property tax and excise only.
Mm-hmm,
So that tractor, we pay excise only on that tractor.
okay, I didn't think it left the farm, so, okay.
Well, but that's what we used to
All right.
do.
Okay,
That's what Newry used to do.
okay,
I mean, my husband had a tractor and we had to excise to that tractor.
okay,
Or you'd get a personal property tax bill. So on
Generally, the excise was cheaper.
cheaper,
so you
right.
pick your poison and go with that,
Right.
right?
So then, and part of that's Keith's thing, I believe, because it says on his, in the computer,
Mhm.
Exxon is only was transferred over to personal property.
Okay,
And we found
did we
those
stop
some
doing excise
And we
only?
stopped doing the
So
excise
that,
only.
is that why it got transferred over to personal property?
No,
because we
we
did
just
that.
stopped doing the excise only when I came back.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys did it before I came back.
Oh, yeah, I kinda remember, I
But,
couldn't tell you when we did it, but.
But we
yeah.
did find those,
we got
we did find the excise only things
Yeah.
of Mr. Durgan's.
5 or 6 of them.
So that would be something that, if we're asking him to say what he had, we could use that to double check.
Yeah, all it has is like a,
Doesn't say what it is.
no, it says an 89, what did I tell you, an 89 yellow tractor, and we charged him $90.
But
on
it has
one
a
of them, but-
year and a.
But it has a year, it doesn't have
what
a
it
model, I
is.
don't think it has a model, but,
But be
Yeah.
close enough to get some information.
yeah, we have a little bit. I think there's 5 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them.
I mean, he no longer owns those pits, he has sold
Right.
that, but I mean, it's still,
Yeah.
and hopefully his lawyer will convey that message, because unfortunately, he's like a lot of us, you tell me something and I'm gonna tell you no. So,
Right, we want to work with him to bring him
Right.
into compliance, and we want him to be treated like anybody else in
Right.
Newry, and to treat Newry.
and that's
the
what he
same.
wants, well, he says.
That's what he says,
Yeah.
so we'll take him at his word,
Right, but he has to play the game as well.
exactly,
I mean,
and he has to help the town help him.
right.
Right,
But I think it's gonna be
I will-
through his lawyer.
I think that's probably right.
me too. Now, my next question,
Mhm.
if he comes in like he did yesterday, we have a right to ask him to leave, correct?
If he doesn't behave, if anybody
Exactly,
comes into town hall and does not act civilly, you
Okay.
have a right to call a constable,
I
sheriff,
thought I could,
whatever.
okay, I just wanted to verify that.
Same thing happens if someone gets out of line in a meeting, so
Yeah.
if I get out of line, you'll
Yep.
you'll call. the
We
police.
did have to do that.
I think that's probably happened before,
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
um, right, so,
okay,
but I've also spoken with his attorney, as
Mm.
you've seen,
Yes.
and he agrees that everyone ought to be civil.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
we'll hope that message gets conveyed.
I'm sure it will, to be honest, but I just wanted to clarify that.
Yep, well, that makes sense. So does that help out getting a path forward?
Yep.
Well, I think this is what we had to do, it's just,
I think we thought it was a little simpler than this.
Well,
Yeah.
we were trying to get the information, but it wasn't coming to us. I mean, we've asked him,
Well, we've asked him for the
Numerous times.
information, and I think we made it pretty clear when he was here that we're willing to work with him, but we're just not gonna make stuff disappear.
Right,
I mean-
because otherwise other people.
And
could
then
ask you.
everybody's gonna do it,
Right.
and that's what I've said from the beginning, it's not that we're gonna be like, hey, you need to pay this and that's it, we're not.
Right, this
Like,
is not a line
we
in the
wanna,
sand.
we want to work with him, but he has to, it's not up to us to do all the work.
Okay, I'll convey that message,
Thank you.
all right? Anything else for this evening's agenda? I
Um,
think we've got that contract a little later on, but
Yeah.
I think that's all set.
yeah, Jim did the contract for, Deb to use Grange.
right,
I drove by the Grange Hall, so now I know where it is.
There you go.
You know, 2 for 1. All right. Thank you very much. Good to
Thank
see
you.
all of you.
Yes, thanks,
Appreciate it.
Jim, appreciate it. Have fun in Bethel.
I'll have a great time.
Yeah. Enjoy.
it
Yeah.
does look simple.
Yes,
Sometimes,
this will be easy compared to the next act, but that's okay. That's why I'm here.
that's right. Somebody's gonna have the dirty job.
All right, thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess that's back on public comment, but I guess we probably almost got,
Unless it's me or Ed got comments.
we don't have any public hearings or possible action, right?
No,
I'm just trying to get
Yeah.
caught up.
that was, gotcha. I kinda forgot those were there when he got here, cause I knew he had to move on to elsewhere.
Now, did you wanna skip ahead to Joelle's stuff so that she can get out of here?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
does she
so
wanna
she can
stay?
hear it, cause he wants to leave
If
too,
there's
so,
anything that's gotta be voted on, I'd like to get that before I have to leave.
yeah. So we'll do,
So is that me? Am I up?
I think so.
Okay. So you guys have a bunch of road stuff in front of you. Namely the bid package for asphalt this year.
We do somewhere, huh?
can't see it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. See. Going back.
You can come over here. You guys find it all? Okay.
Just a lot of them.
No, you didn't lose your packet.
stop making me make special trips here to get it when I can't remember what I'm driving like that.
So we're gonna do Monkey Brook, Wheeler Road, and put a parking area out here, is that?
Well, we're going out to bid for Monkey Brook and Wheeler Road. So those two will go out to bid, same way we do every year with the road cycles that we have. The proposed parking area, I mean, we can ask for an asphalt price if you'd like me to, or we can start this year with just gravel. You know, something that compacts well, drains well, so we don't have the mud slick that we have going on right now. It's an ideal spot to put the employees, me, the other 3 women that work here. It gets us out of the way for plowing, delivery trucks, and gives more general public parking.
Gage really prefers when you park on the side of your office, which you guys normally do.
Oh, I'm just wondering if we should make that a little bit bigger, because when we have meetings
Like
here,
election day and
sometimes
stuff.
there's,
Yeah.
the meetings and things that,
Would you wanna do
I'm,
20 by 80,
what's
20 by 100?
What that 20 by 6 is, if we can 10
10-foot wide spaces?
says 6 spaces, if we put another 2 or 3 on there,
Okay.
I mean, if we're gonna go through this, let's do it right.
Do we wanna go with just gravel this year?
Well,
Well, I think we should put it out to bid just to see how much it's gonna cost.
Okay.
I mean, and then we don't have to accept the bid,
No,
right?
we don't.
I
We
mean,
can
if
make
we're
it a separate line item, so they bid the roads
Right,
as one price, and then put the parking area as a separate price, so you guys can determine whether or not it even goes to voters, or,
cause
We
if
say not
everything
this
is
year.
outrageous, then we could be like, well, here's some crushed rock.
yeah,
Good luck.
crush rock's good, yeah, okay. I will add a line,
it's good until it snows.
True. But
okay.
it did work out good this morning, that.
How many feet of, Monkey Brook Road are we talking? You know?
Yeah, I do, 3,800 feet,
Okay.
26 feet wide. Wheeler Road is almost 1,800 feet long, and I estimated at 20 feet wide. Parts of the road are 22, the other parts are 18. So
Yeah.
I just went with the standard 20. And I told them all they had to go, if they don't look at Wheeler Road and have me go with them, I don't want them even bidding on it. It needs some work. It's rough, the edges are rough, just wanna make sure they know what they're bidding, so.
Also, at one point, we talked about making a hammerhead and that only one way, but not one way, but
One
not
entrance.
going all the
Right,
way
yeah.
through.
DOT owns parts of our Wheeler Road. They come in a certain distance on each end, and they weren't excited about that. That'd take a couple more years for them to engineer that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if you guys like this,
that,
you like the timelines in it,
Simon's Bridge, that was that 7360, is that just the engineering
that's
fee?
just the engineering to get it through Army Corps. There is no repair happening this coming year, because we don't have a price.
Okay, well, do we need to have somebody look at that, or is it gonna be all right?
No, it'll be fine for this year.
Okay,
The Calderwood has looked at it, the bridge ranger, I think they call him for the state of Maine, when he came out and looked at it, he's, it's not in any danger of
no,
falling down.
guess that's what I was asking.
Yeah, there's no danger of falling down, and we actually had, Dennis Fournier come and crack seal the loose concrete pieces,
Yeah.
just so they didn't get caught up in somebody's plow blade when they got plowed. So we'll do that again this year if we have to. But now that we've actually taken the drainage and made it better in the guardrail section, so the water's not sitting on it, that helps too.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, go back to the specifications for the asphalt, please. I have bids being due March 7th. They'll be read aloud here at your meeting. Actually, we open them at 4 PM and then you guys see them at 5 and
Yeah.
make decisions. So they'll be opened and read aloud at 4 PM. Are you guys good with that timeline? Because I need to get this out.
yeah, you got them so that they have to do it before September, because a couple of years ago, they got way late on doing that.
They got way late, and the 2 contractors that I was talking to last year both said, if it passes town meeting, you can be first. It's like, sweet.
Yeah,
So, we got lucky last year, our roads were all done by mid-June,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So if you're good with that, I'll get this
I'll
out
make a
and
motion that
advertised.
we, that the bid specifications are okay and can be sent out.
I will second the motion.
Been moved and seconded that we accept the proposal for the bid specifications. All those in favor?
In favor.
In favor.
In favor.
No.
I'm gonna change one thing. Town meeting's gonna be May 15th.
And I will add that separate line item for the parking lot. Okay?
Just what needs to be done on
23, not 22.
Branch Road, that, I don't think that needs to be, that's just more or less a patch job for where the washout was. But we don't have to do a patch section of paving, I don't believe.
No, I think it's just shoulder work.
Yeah,
Yeah, from what I saw.
yeah, I guess I agree with that.
Okay.
It went through my head.
Okay.
You wanna change the,
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
Before you get up the cliffs.
I just,
Yeah,
So Calderwood Engineering has given us a price as well as a detail of where that money is being spent, which is nice, a consultant's detailed cost proposal form. I apologize for the frog in my throat. Comes up to $6,400. I'm gonna suggest we add 20% for that, for any miscellaneous costs that come up. If we don't need it, great, but if we do, it's budgeted.
another $1,200.
Yeah. And then they can get to work on the design and get it through Army Corps. And then we will have a bid specification, set of plans and specifications that we can put out next year. Or that they will put out for us.
This be something that we'd recommend doing, let's put it on
2025 budget.
right.
25 or 24.
well, this one will be on the 24 budget.
This is the
The
24
okay.
budget, yeah, so
Yeah.
the bridge,
Right.
the actual construction would be
I get
2025.
confused with this.
I know, the whole fiscal year thing.
Yes, join the club, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, not alone.
So there probably would be an increase over that year though. I mean, if we're doing this for 24 and it's not being done until 25.
This is just engineering to get us to the set of plans we get out to bid. Once they do the bid process.
So once they do the plans,
Yeah.
then we take the plans and send those out to bid.
Just like we're doing with the asphalt, we put them out in bid
So this is
specifications.
just to get the plans?
Yes.
This is
Okay.
to
Yeah.
get the plans
Yeah,
this year.
right, yes, this is just the engineering.
Or not engineering.
This is a,
So clearly
state
we
of
all
Maine
should've
bridge.
been.
yes, we should have. This is a state of Maine bridge, so this isn't something I could just hire and go.
Right, yeah.
I did check the, washout, if you will, underneath one of the abutments after that Christmas weekend storm that we had, and it was no worse than what it had been back in September when we started this process.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say we put that on the wish list.
It's gotta go in the budget. If you guys are okay with that.
I am.
Well, we need it, I mean.
We do need it,
We
yeah.
can't
We do.
just ignore it, or we won't have a bridge.
We'll be cutting off part of Sunday River Road, that won't go over well.
No, they won't be able to get to Frenchman.
That'd be a good.
We'll put a speed bump in the middle
Yeah.
of it.
You gotta jump.
So do we need a motion to accept this?
Well, in order to pay him and get him working, I'd like that.
So I'll make a motion that we accept this Calderwood Engineering packet and continue on with this project.
Just, not trying to stir the pot here, but just out of curiosity, is he the only one that proposed the bid?
We went out to bid a couple of months ago, asking for rate sheets.
Yeah.
Bancroft and Calderwood were the only two that replied.
And this is the one we.
This is the one we chose to go
Okay.
with,
No,
yeah.
I just,
Yep.
checking.
Are you seconding my motion?
Yes, I will second the motion.
I'm moving and saying that we accept the Calwood engineer and cost estimate plan to go put on to budget in for 2024.
Yep.
All those in favor?
In favor.
In favor.
In favor.
The other thing we're looking at for roads this year is I'm getting some prices, for ditching Valley View. It's one of the few subdivision roads we actually took on as a town road. It's steep, like all our subdivisions.
There's a couple places where there's ledge there that you can't go down, it's like around the 90-degree turn.
Yeah.
Halfway up on
Yeah.
the left, I believe it is, there's ledge there, it's only like,
Yeah, it's just a buildup of all the winter sand over the last couple of years is when the water now drains, it just runs right along the edge of the tar and it's washing it out. So I've got Cross giving us a quote for that.
just out of curiosity, is this the last year for Cross's bid?
No, they have one more.
One more?
Yeah.
Okay, I
This is-
couldn't
yeah, We're in
remember.
their second year. Okay,
Okay,
so I'll get those prices and get some numbers for you.
Have we got any more, or thought any more about the budget process for the church?
Calderwood is gonna have numbers for us from that, and I have a separate capital improvement budget for all our buildings, but that'll come with next time I see you, hopefully, soon.
okay,
Because we're starting budget.
Yes,
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Calderwood's working on that,
Okay.
yeah.
have we checked the septic to see if that's gonna have an issue at the Grange Hall? As cold as it was, I was thinking of
Well,
that
we've
one
had
day.
people using it.
People are using it,
Nobody's complaining, so
the
it
Tai
must be
Chi
working.
classes have not had any complaints,
Each
And
friendly
Abe
have a
used it
thing
today.
today, and we didn't,
yeah.
Okay,
haven't heard
no,
So,
I
no,
was,
I think everything's working well,
I was
with
kind
the
of
insulation,
afraid
yeah.
where that, where we built that up.
Right.
And the roof dripped off, they cut a trench in there, but I don't think it's deep enough to matter, but
no, I think we're doing well there,
good.
yeah.
Rita didn't send me any message. She
Okay.
didn't say anything when she brought the key back.
Good enough.
I didn't do a code enforcement officer report, I figured my roads would entertain you enough today,
Yeah,
okay?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I guess we'll need to discuss or make a motion to discharge Loretta Powers and Amy Bernard from any liability to collect the uncollectible personal property tax.
is that a motion? If it is, I'll second it.
No, I mean,
This is for the old ones, right? The ones that are
Yes.
that are more than the 6 years,
Yes,
right?
yes.
'Cause those are,
You guys talked about it, wanted to read what the attorney had sent, and then you never voted on it at the last meeting. So
Okay.
we wrote up this, so we're not held responsible for something that we can't collect.
so should we do this for the selectmen as well? Cause, I mean.
You guys aren't responsible for it, I am. I hate to say it.
just the treasurer.
Yeah, treasurer.
So if they, so you're telling me if they don't pay their bill, we can come after you for it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty
Amy
much.
Bernard,
I'm just,
Yeah, no, I'm the one responsible for the taxes to come into this town.
so we can give it to you, we can excuse your liability, but keep Amy's?
yeah.
No, yeah, I got her name on it, but yeah, you can, you can brush me off. But yeah,
Well, I'm just wondering.
yeah, no, it's because I am responsible for the collection of all taxes that come into this town.
Any treasurers
Correct.
that the taxes were committed to.
Yeah.
So that's why Amy.
Like when Amy left and Joelle took over, she was responsible.
Wow.
Joelle was, yeah.
so what,
So pretty much.
because you know what my question is.
What happens if you don't?
Right.
I could probably be sued.
Like,
And there goes your inheritance.
I'm pretty sure I'm not getting one anyway.
You're probably like,
But-
right.
Who's gonna sue you, I guess is my question.
I don't know, I think it's a state thing. It's a,
So the
I'm
state-
bonded. Probably our insurance would pay it.
The
Town
state
insurance.
could sue you for not collecting the taxes? Like if you were like, hey,
Townspeople could sue me for not.
so if you were like, hey, townspeople, don't worry about your taxes, right? If we did like a revolt or whatever.
This is for the 6 year, this is for the.
I know,
previous-
I know.
Okay.
She's just trying to hang me out.
No,
I
I'm
know,
not.
I'm just trying to clarify.
I
This
just
is
wanna
for stuff that the
I just
lawyer
wanna
said we can't
understand.
collect.
Right, no, that part I
Okay,
get.
Okay, I'm just verifying.
I just wanna know,
We know, you always wanna know the other side.
Google it.
Yeah, we know.
So this is all taxes, property taxes, personal taxes?
No,
What?
This is
No,
just for the
this-
personal property from the prior to 2017 to release them to say that she's not gonna collect that money.
Yeah, this is Keystone Golf Course money that we
Right.
cannot collect.
That we can't
That's too
collect.
old.
It's too old, it's past the 6 years, we can't collect it. We need to release
I'll make a
the
motion
treasurers.
that we discharge letter of powers, Amy Hale.
Bernard.
Bernard.
Yeah, no, Bernard, I don't care, but from before the time that they were permanently
Right.
employed.
Yeah,
That's the way I was wording it, so that anything before permanently empowered.
oh,
Okay,
you got it? There's two separate ones.
There's two separate,
Okay.
where did you get that one from?
Probably
In my
expect-
The packet.
my packet, I probably saw that.
I was just letting him read that
Oh,
one,
okay.
Okay,
instead of going off what it
Okay.
said
Yeah,
okay. And I
These are the
guess-
ones you gotta,
Well,
you
if
decide to
we,
sign.
if we're not holding them responsible for anything happened before they were here, then this one, with the Keith Duggan one, wouldn't,
well, we have to,
Well,
we have
you
to,
have to do, okay.
because
Mandy, make the
it's been
motion.
transferred over.
Tell you
Okay,
what.
every
Right,
time
because when
somebody
you
leaves
retook, when we recommitted the taxes, that all went to
To
you.
me.
Well, first it was Amy, and then it went to Joelle, and then,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, Jesus. I make a motion that we discharge the current town treasurer, Loretta Powers, and the previous town treasurer, Amy Bernard, from further liability and/or obligation to collect the balances due from PNC Equipment Finance and Keith Durgan doing business as Bear River Excavating that are more than 6 years old.
I believe I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded that. And we're saying that under the authority contained in Title 36 MRS,
Yep.
Section 763 is amended, the select board moves to discharge the current town treasurer, Loretta Powers, and the previous town treasurer, Amy Bernard, from further liability or obligation to collect the balance due of 48,511.56 owned PNC Equipment Finance, now owned by Harris Golf, and 25,689.96 owed by Keith Durgan, DBA Bear River Excavation. Oh, but that's the second figure, the
Yes.
current, not,
Right,
This is just the back.
yeah.
this is the back.
Yep.
All those in favor?
In favor.
In favor.
In favor.
What's the update on the
Broadband.
broadband, yeah?
Well, they had their little meeting, and I listened to it, it was crazy. First Light didn't wanna, so we didn't get the bid, but First Light, I mean, we didn't get the grant. First Light doesn't wanna go where the people have Spectrum,
Like here.
yeah, like here,
Like here.
like I had. And so, then
But what
I,
about those of us who have First Light?
then, that
They
was
want you
okay.
to use First Light.
They want you to use First Light, but they didn't wanna like go to the places that didn't have First Light. So then, today I saw an email, from Mia that said First Light is gonna talk about that. And, of course, as you guys all saw, that Bethel was supposedly pulling all their opera funds out. I have not talked to them this week, cause during this meeting, Mia and Mike Wilson were gonna meet with, Natalie and Bethel. So, I'm not quite sure what they're gonna do. But, yeah, ARPA funds, I found this out, because I couldn't remember, have to be incurred, we have to have set in stone what we're gonna use it for by December 31st, 2024.
Oh, we have plenty of time.
Yes, we do. And the allowable performance period for the obligated funds runs until December 1st, 2026, so that's when you gotta make sure it's spent by, used by. But So we still have time to change your mind or not change your mind.
Well, if
Um,
Bethel's, I mean, what I'm
but-
kinda curious is Bethel gonna reinstate that money somewhere, or are they just pulling out completely?
I think
They
they're
want
pulling
to
out,
use it for
they
their
were gonna use it for their
wastewater.
wastewater.
Yeah, I know they are, but I
So-
didn't know what, they were gonna try to raise it again at the town meeting or something.
I don't think so, but I've gotta ask her that, because I haven't asked her that. And then there was a little chart that showed the ones that didn't have service or serves or something. The ones that said underserved or, second page.
So we can pull it from them if we want.
Yes, you can. This thing.
I don't think you
We
can
don't
give
have
that.
that.
Yeah, and this, plus I don't quite get it, maybe you understand this, Brooks, better than I do.
What?
It says unserved, served, and served with cable, and then unserved with cable. So Newry's unserved people was 64, and served was 540. Then the Newry revised was 63, unserved. So they're saying unserved people with whatever it is, 50 over 10, must be upload and download stuff. It's not many people.
Not many, well, I guess you don't know either, but that's how many people are not served, like they're not, they are, don't have the ability to get
I get,
internet, I
yeah,
guess?
yeah, unless they do like Cisco's
Satellite or
way up
whatever.
there, or, you guys have First Light, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those 64 or whatever, people that are not on First Light?
That's what, or are not on, don't have internet, is what I'm
And-
assuming.
and-
Internet's not
Or
available.
they
for
might
them.
have, but
Yeah,
some of them,
whatever that Cricket is, or,
Yeah, they get
yeah,
Starlink.
Starlink.
Yeah.
Satellite
Yeah.
or something.
yeah,
But would the broadband really be going out the willy wax to get?
no, unless
To
you
those
wanted to pay
people?
for it, like,
Okay.
I just use Cisco's for instance, because they're so far out.
It's way up.
They aren't gonna
Right
go up
there.
there,
So
they're not gonna
you're
run
never gonna
cable,
serve a lot of these
nobody's
people.
gonna run cable up there.
No, they could have satellite.
Right, right.
So what are we actually discussing? If we're gonna pull our ARPA money from them?
Well, I'm assuming that's what you wanted to ask, so.
I mean, that's what I wanted to do. I didn't wanna give it to them in the first place.
But we already knew.
But, you know, it's,
We're just giving you the update,
yeah,
I guess.
so,
But we don't have to, if we pull our ARPA money out of the broadband, and for some reason they make a miracle happen, we can re-put it back in until December 2024, right, if we wanted to. If we didn't
technically,
spend it
according to
before then.
this, yeah,
We probably still owe them $1,000 from the thousand.
they haven't
Even if-
asked for
They
nothing.
haven't billed for it?
Nope.
Well, we haven't got to the part where they need the lawyer yet, right?
Oh, I thought they did, but I don't know.
Because that was for legal fees, wasn't it?
Yeah. I thought they did the legal fees at the time they decided to, well, at one point they were gonna have their own group,
Right,
you know, satellite district or whatever you wanna call it. And then that changed.
every time we have a meeting, they change.
Yeah.
So what time you gotta leave?
Soon.
About,
6 minutes.
yeah, around 6 to 5 past.
Well, do we have to discuss
We
the,
don't have to decide that tonight.
no.
no, do we have to do the foreclosure thing? Bridge
Um,
Street.
technically, no, it,
But
you
we've
just,
been a month since that time.
right, when I talked to Jim Katzfegas about it, he said, well, give it 4 to 6 weeks before you do anything. To do anything, I have to advertise and do all this stuff, it ain't anything that's gonna happen overnight. You guys can just tell me, yes, advertise, or
Well, I
wait
mean-
another week, or whatever.
I'm just looking at things,
Yeah.
the Grange Hall use, is
Yeah.
that something we'd have to vote on? Well, actually, we kinda voted on
We
it,
didn't
we
Right.
have
vote on
to
it,
sign
we
it.
didn't have the contract.
Right,
And was that what, Jim was talking about, that he
yes,
wanted to go over it with us? or
No, he just
he's
wanted-
he hasn't gone over it yet,
he's gone over, it. He wrote it,
okay. I figured probably, but,
You did,
and I was stupid because
we should try.
we should have charged her to.
well,
but too late now.
Yeah, but you know what, we can alter that contract
We can use
for
that.
other
Well, that's what he said.
things.
Yes.
Yeah, he said we could use
So,
that for
I
other
mean, yeah,
people
like
if we
if
want.
somebody else, some other group
Yeah.
wants to use it, we can just
Yeah.
alter, you know, the dates and the names
Dates.
and whatever, so.
Yeah, that's what
I
Jim
mean, I
said,
think it's a good base,
multi, yeah,
yeah,
we could use it as a multi-use.
multi-purpose.
Yep,
I mean, if we're talking about ARPA funds, I say we pull it out, but we don't have to decide that today if you don't want to.
Well, let's wait and see what,
yeah, I'll ask Bethel if they're gonna raise the
I
money.
mean, not that we have to be like Bethel.
No,
but,
no.
I mean, if
Be nice to know.
they keep
Yeah,
jerking us around with different things, then,
well, and then,
Right.
you know.
at that meeting, they said, yeah, we kinda rushed everybody at the end, and, I think the next one's gonna be done by March something,
Oh,
and.
that was the
it's like-
grant money thing.
Yeah, and it's like, dudes. You know,
Well, be upfront and honest with us. would you?
yes, yeah, so,
So we're gonna wait and see.
So
Maybe we'll let Bethel be the bad
table that
guys
one
then.
until our next,
okay,
Take it.
yep,
Sure.
yep,
and I guess we can sign that contract.
good, yeah.
And then we can wait on the Bridge Street thing, so that the bridge,
Well, it's just, I just wanted you guys to know that we are
we're
foreclosing on
gonna
it.
wait anyway. I mean,
Yeah, but,
Yeah, we're already a month past the
yeah,
date.
foreclosure date,
Yeah.
so it's ours technically,
Where the hell's Bridge Street?
the one across from Sylvia's.
When you
Well,
have
you
to
have to
actually
cross that
walk
bridge.
across to,
Across from where Teabag used to live.
Yeah, he's probably thinking of else too
That's
bad.
exactly what I'm thinking.
yeah,
They were very
Oh,
nice
that's the
people.
one with the walk across bridge.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, the guy that parks his trailer in
Yes.
the road.
That the tree falls on.
yes,
Yes.
yes, yep, that's the
that's
one.
what we're talking about.
Okay,
That's
got
what
it.
we're talking about.
Liz and Andy.
Yes,
So has he responded to anything?
No,
no, he didn't, no. Last time we talked to him, we told him that it was gonna be foreclosed on, he says, you guys tell me that every time I come in, so,
and didn't make a payment.
and didn't make a payment, and of course, we sent it certified, cause we have to.
And that was received.
We have no idea, cause we haven't got it back yet. We called the post office
But
and
he
asked
can
what it was.
not claim it, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
so,
Yeah.
but he knows,
Last I had checked with the post office, that was the status of it, was not claimed.
but,
Cause you leave a thing in the mailbox and he's gotta go to the post office and get it, but a lot of people don't claim them. And then it eventually gets back to us. Process.
So we gotta talk about the punch cards, or can that wait?
that's, I just wanted to get you guys information,
It's-
feel on it,
That's just.
because we've gotta have a meeting.
Working, you know.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else technically to vote on. No,
Okay.
Just
Look out
pause.
then. Sorry to leave you
yeah,
guys. but
you wanna
just
sign
way
the
it worked
agreement
out.
for Deb, I mean.
Yes, I'll
yeah.
do that.
Don't you have it? This-
So the new ideas for the Spirit of America is they're looking for somebody to,
Yeah, who you wanna give it to?
Who did we previously give to? Leon?
I don't know,
Yes.
wasn't
I
it?
think the last
Ian
one was
the
Liam.
last one.
Okay,
We don't have to do a spirit of America.
no,
We don't have to do a spirit of America,
But-
but we do need to dedicate the town report to
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah,
Well, because-
Alan Quay was before that, I believe.
Yeah, probably. Jim Cisco got a Spirit of America award here too.
Maybe, I know Alan.
Yeah,
got
I know
one,
Alan,
too.
the first time I ever heard of it was
And
Alan
I
was
think
at the
Bruce
council.
Pearson's got it too. so.
Yeah, and I keep saying Bethel because that's where I was. We did a Spirit of America award in Bethel. They did not dedicate their town report, that, they just do it very different. They don't put their warrant in their town report even like we do. So, we can dedicate our town report instead of doing, or you can do both, whatever you wanna do, it's up to you.
We had been doing it both, but.
I like that we dedicate the town report to somebody, I
Yeah.
think that's important.
Yeah.
I don't think the date's right on them, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, she probably signed it, Deb signed it the other day.
It's 23, I think.
Oh, what we put,
Well, it might be 123, I don't know.
No, that's right.
No, I thought where we signed it.
Like where you wrote in the date?
Well, my copy, the one above me.
Do we have anything else we can adjourn, or?
yeah, we can do it, we can do whatever you wanna do.
Well,
I just-
no, I mean, he's leaving, so
Yeah.
we might just as well adjourn now, and if there's something
Yep.
else, we'll throw it on for the next.
Yeah, cause I don't have much other than I'm starting the budget, working on workman's comp audit, Oh, I'm live. We got a check last week for $75, and we couldn't figure out why, it was payout of restitution. So I called Androscoggin County and said, what the heck is this? She goes, well, let me look. Well, you had robbery back, and I said, oh my God, I was here then.
That was
2014.
10 years ago, wasn't it?
2014.
We got
2014, just got our
$75.
$75.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, it takes some time.
Interest, no interest?
No interest,
No interest.
no interest.
Nothing.
February 2014, break in.
I'll make that motion, I'll second your motion.
601,
Oh, yes.
made the
In
motion.
favor?
In favor.
All right, see you, Tink.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I have nothing else other than Amy's.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, say your report, you can say it real quick. We only have one?
We have one time share left, guys.
Ah.
I'm trying. The foreclosure notice went out yesterday.
Yeah.
So.
So it's been,
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice work.
and we signed? Okay. Oh, that's a different one. Yeah, those are.
These are all your signed things.
Okay, okay. I thought, wow, that's weird how they got over here.
No, I just collect them.
Yeah,
You can collect some.
Why you let me be the responsible one, I don't know.
yeah, that's a good question, because,
Because you can't even bring your packet. No.
and she told me, which car was I driving? And I said, I don't know, just let me know.
I must have brought it in the house, which is friggin' unheard of.
So you're like, I'm not ever gonna, it's gonna be a while before I find it,
Yeah.
right?
But I've been working at the hotel on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, cause I feel bad for
You want
them.
us to sign that? We already did them.
How tall is Gage?
Like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Man,
I swear every time I see him, he grows another inch or so.
I love watching him play.
I know, imagine what
Saw
the
one
kids
kid go flying
Oh,
across the floor.
Well, then when Gage holds that ball, that kid goes, and that other kid was, yes. Yep.
But, no foul.
No, I know. He's doing what he's supposed to
I
do.
feel bad sometimes because he never, like I try to explain to him, you're never gonna get the benefit of the doubt because you are the big guy out there. Like,
Yeah.
I said, when you go up, you have to go up like the Hulk, and you have to